So who's lowering the hammer?
I'm going to lower the hammer. That's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to be grumpy old man.
Hey, it worked this week. I'm missing something. I haven't looked at the doc, so I must be missing something.
Oh, I thought you were Keith. Sorry.
So,
actually, I think last week's show notes say Keith's pick was a missing pick. I don't think you picked anything last week.
no, I did. I didn't. I would preemptively held my pick so that I could have lots of them this week. I banked it.
Are we streaming on Alpha Geek?
About to be. I'm waiting for the Google buffer to buffer.
Okay.
So, get to Media Channel 3 control, and I'll get us hooked up.
We never did find Sam Adams' Merrymaker, did we? That gingerbread stout.
I think that's probably.
We talked about it.
Yeah, it might be.
Looking through
we'll
these
save
old
that for next
beers.
week now.
Looking through the planners list.
Yeah, I added a bunch of beers today that I'm supposed to be sending if I wasn't such an idiot.
Some packaging material that I got from somewhere that's really good. I think I got it from you. It's like this really cool foam stuff. You want it?
Sure.
It's taking up space in my garage, so I gotta get rid of it.
Oh, yeah, I'll come get it.
I'm going to my. Are we on Alpha Geek? I just don't want to say anything live.
I'm just about to get there. Well, I don't know how long it takes them to buffer up to, so we might already be live there.
Okay, I'm going to my niece's wedding tomorrow. Tomorrow? That's tomorrow, yeah.
You're going to your niece's wedding?
Yeah.
That's a secret.
No. I'm just gonna
maybe
the
wedding. The other stuff he was going to say was a secret. Now we will never know.
I know. All right, well, we should be live-ish on Alpha Geekish now. Hello, Alpha Geeker.
Alpha Geek.
I'm going to talk to Todd. It never says our next show is us. It always says it's Casually Hardcore, which comes up an hour behind us.
Well, that's not good.
I don't know why. I don't think it matters because we're still on the schedule, but it's only for the show hosts.
It would be nice to get. It would be nice to get like a little pub. You know.
It would be nice to be at the pub.
I would like to be at the pub.
A little pub.
We are advertised on their website.
Well, that's good.
Oh, hey, look at that.
I'm just saying that if you're looking at the control panel, which I'm the only one in the group that does, it always says what the next show is, but it never says us. It always says Casually Hardcore. Probably because we always start late. That could be it.
Of all the things to say that none of you ever look at, that's probably not something you should say.
Well, you don't, because you don't have the password.
I don't. And yeah, all of us have access to the document.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Well,
don't even have to say it.
Thank you very much.
Are you saying something?
No.
You got something to say?
It's a thinly veiled. Just.
You know, really, it's it could be a little thinner.
I could be.
So could I, and I'm working on it.
Yeah, you're looking good, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're looking cute, Rob.
75 pounds
handsome.
and counting.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's a lot.
How'd you do that?
Doing the MetaFast and lots of walking and living the good life.
How much did you say you lost?
75.
75 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy.
Gary, are you on your good mic this week?
Am I? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You sound better than
very
you did a
loud,
minute
though.
ago. It was a little loud just then. But it was better than you being a little echoey, which I don't know which was causing what.
Yeah, I'm on the good mic. Just wasn't sitting that close to it.
Okay.
I was hovering over the mic.
You give me chills, Gary. Give me bumps on my
Oh,
goose.
Keith. Oh, Keith.
All right, well, I am ready to start whenever you guys are.
No! Oh, okay.
Or not.
Heck yeah!
Ready?
Here.
Go!
Okay, this is PNRShow Season 3, Episode 16, Beer Camp, Week 2.
I'd rather have lager than rye. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I'd prefer to confer with a half pint of ale than live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than rye.
From a deep, dark, rarely used corner of the intro webs comes to you the Pint of No Return Show. Tonight, we look at Beer Camp Part 2, Stout of the Union. I knew there was a union in there somewhere.
The Union of Stout.
We talk about the rise of the capitalist space explorers, Indiana Jones 5, and our picks of the week. But now, here's our co-hosts, Keith, Gary, Jeremy, and Rob. Hi, guys.
Yo, what's up?
Hi, Rob. You have way too much energy this week.
Woo! It's almost Friday.
Rob.
It's that
Rob.
MetaFast.
It's something. It's something that he probably took,
burning
yes.
energy. How are you guys?
At least it's not burning something else.
No. I got a lot of energy stored up because the wife's been away all week.
Oh. That's uncomfortable to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
We
should just
beer.
leave that one alone. Just leave that alone.
No, there should be a bell ringing somewhere. All right. So tonight, gentlemen, first of all, we want to thank the Poxy Bargards and the use of their music for our theme song. You can find their stuff at poxybargards.com, POXYBOGGARDS. Great body drinking band who loves their beer. So give them a look and buy some of their music. They're a great group. Tonight, we're going to our second beer in the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp series for 2016, and we are doing the Stout of the Union Robust Stout, which I know the other boys are going to be really happy about. They love their stouts.
Oh, yes.
This one's
that-
another collaboration with Bagby Beer Company, Beechwood Brewing, Hort Brewing Company, Smog City Brewing, and something I can't read brewing company at the end.
Do you want smog in your beer company's title?
Yeah, it's stout. Gotta have some sort of smog in
Gotta
there.
have smog in your stout, yeah.
All right.
Smoggy stout.
It doesn't. All right.
Absolutely.
Do we
Isn't
have?
Beechwood Brewing? Isn't that coarse?
Yeah, that sounds
Beechwood aged.
bad.
That's Beechwood aged. Yeah, I wouldn't use that name. Beechwood Brewing.
It's got extra smog in it, so you know it's good. Do we have? I can't see the document at the moment. Do we have a percentage on this one?
We have 7.3.
Ah.
Yay!
That's hearty.
That's
Hardy enough, yeah.
I'll take it.
Now, last week's beer, the Session Rye, was met with profound thumbs up from the boys.
one of Rob's favorite, I believe.
One of the worst beers ever done on the show. But I'm wiping the slate clean. Sierra Nevada gets a fresh start. I'm giving them
All right.
a new chance.
So this is their marketing spiel on this beer. This stout hails from the land of the sun, sand, and surf. It proves that beer doesn't have to be light-colored and delicate. Stout of the Union is rich, roasty, and full of malt flavor, creating a union of like-minded brewers together through beer.
Yeah,
So,
it smells a little sandy.
Really, really
the yeast
malty.
is just an ale yeast. The hops for bittering are Magnum, and the finishing is Equinox. So none of those kind of hops that Rob hates, and we wouldn't expect stout. It's our Maris Otter, Munich Oats, Crystal Chocolate Roasted Barley.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
All right, this thing pours like
Wow.
syrup.
Yeah, it is
Look at
thick.
that. Look at that. I got like
I mean, you can see mine is already lacing just by tipping it over, how it clings to the side of the glass.
I can't empty mine because it's too much head. That was probably my pour.
Mine's the same way. It really foamed up.
As the boys said, it's got a
Mine
very
is
very malty aroma to it. A little smoky, maybe.
A little sandy,
Yeah, definitely.
hint of
Mhm.
seaweed.
But man, is that thing
They got
thick.
that roasty caramel kind of thing going on.
That's one of the thicker beers, the thicker pouring beers I can recall on this show,
It's not too bad.
even among stouts. All right, ready for this? Guys, been waiting all day for
do
this. All right,
Yes.
State of the Union, Stout of the Union, Sierra Nevada, Prost.
Ooh, that is thick.
This
Yeah.
It is robust, even.
it is robust. It is slightly solid. almost as Rob is a fan of saying, chewy.
That's a good stout. I like it.
That's
Not
hearty.
so
You know
much.
what's interesting is
It's not so much solid as it is a brick wall.
usually you don't get this much flavor and heartiness out of a stout that's not imperial. This is robust is the right word for this stout, I think.
Yeah,
It reminds me of an imperial stout, like something like
Mhm.
it does. It
Rasputin
even
almost.
kind of warms on the way down, the way a nice 9% stout does, even though it's only 7. It doesn't really taste boozy, but it has that feel to it.
Yeah. I actually had an imperial stout. I think it was last weekend that I had like aged for like 3 years, and it was like a barrel aged stout, and it was a little too boozy. This is actually a better experience than that was, because that was like almost too much. They tried a little too hard to get on stuff. It was really good, and did the job. It was pretty. It was like a 9%. But this is really good as a single stout. It does have a lot of characteristics. It's got a really nice feel. It doesn't taste sandy. I don't know why they call this a beach beer. This is not something I would necessarily take to on a warm sunny day.
Yeah,
But it's a little
I don't think
overkill.
so.
It feels good with that.
I want to be in front of a roaring fire in a chalet, with the blizzard coming down outside, putting down a foot of fresh powder.
That would be a great beer for that situation.
Yeah.
That would be.
Just imagine a rugged Keith coming in from the cold, wind-swept snow with a big axe in his
No.
hand,
No, in his beard.
kind of a fire in his eyes as he looks down at you and says, "Pour me that stout."
The axe over his shoulder when
Yes,
tending
sir.
the firelight.
Scruff of his
Yeah.
beard tingling with frosted flakes of snow.
Wow. I feel
With the
more
mask and
manly
the
on this
dog
show
next
than I
to him.
have in a long time.
Kicks up his feet, places him on the bear rug, and
No, you had it right the first time. It would be a
Right.
beer rug.
beer rug.
Yeah.
Beer rug, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a beer rug with, like, the end of it, instead of a bear head, it would be like a bud can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get to the beer. So they describe this as layers of deep malt flavors, and I would agree with that. That kind of layering, there's definitely a lot going on. Definitely a lot of the roasty caramel kind of flavors, but I'm also getting the coffee and almost some fruity back end stuff. So it's really got a lot going on for the type of beer that it is. Compared to the first beer, night and day in terms of flavor and just enjoyability. This is a really good stout, and I think Sierra Nevada did an excellent job and a wise choice to put this in that mix pack for the beer camps here. I'm going to give this, I think I'm going to give it a 9 because I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I can't add much to that. They nailed the style. This is a very solid stout. Lots of flavor, great mouthfeel. It's exactly what you want in a stout. A little bit reminiscent of Guinness, not quite as smoky and dry. A little reminiscent of Old Rasputin,
Yeah,
but not as boozy. No, but it has. Guinness has a really distinct roasty flavor to it.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
And I'm getting that, and I'm getting the Old Rasputin, like really dense, thick stout, but without the booze kick in the face. It's a nice solid stout. I'm giving it a 9 too as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll down the same road with you guys. This is a great, easy to drink stout. I like the thickness of it, the heartiness of it. The layers of malt are there, but none of them go over the top bitter or boozy. Just enough hops to let you know it's still beer. Great, yeah, 9. This is a great beer. This is a great stout, and they should just make this one.
Yeah,
I would buy this all damn winter, if not all year round.
Yeah. This could be a go-to stout very easily.
Yeah, this is great.
And this is like we decided last week that the beer camp 12-pack was a little pricey at $30. But this is the kind of stout that I could see this one being in a 6-pack that was in that $15 range.
Oh yeah. Or a good $10 pint bottle.
Yeah. And I would happily pay it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they kind of pulled out all the stops on this collaboration, and it came out great.
Yeah.
So what's your rating, Keith?
A 9 as well.
9.
Absolutely.
So we're at 9. So now we get to Rob.
So this beer is not for me, but it certainly is for someone. Not a big fan of the stouts. Find the richness and the coffee flavors. I'm not a big fan of coffee either, so right away that kind of sours me on stouts in general. But the boys are right. There's lots of great layering in here. You can almost detect an upper flavoring of that kind of that smoked toffee or caramel flavor to it, and then as you go deeper, I get that coffee coming through quite well, and then even at the bottom, I do myself detect a little bit of that chocolatey kind of feel to it. So yeah, it does. It definitely has all three kind of working together in a nice progression, and this beer is the dictionary definition of chewy. All those malts in there give this beer a lot of substance. So yeah, this isn't definitely one you're going to quaff down in 5 minutes and hit to the next one. This is one you're going to want to work on for a while. But that being said, it's for what it's supposed to be. And again, this is me saying I'm not a stout fan, and this isn't something that I would choose. But for what it's supposed to be, it's really good. The flavoring's nice. It drinks very smooth. It's got a nice taste all the way through for what the tastes are supposed to be. So I will give this an 8.
Wow.
That right there tells you, if you're out there in listener land, that they got this style right.
Yeah, that gives us an 8.75 overall rating. That's a really, impressive review of this beer for Rob. I'm commendable for that, Rob.
And as we've discussed on this show, I am a super taster.
You are. So that gives us an 8.75 overall. Did you say that?
Very
Beer
respectable.
Advocate is an 8.86. I forgot what Untapped was already. So
I'm just checking in now.
It's 3.7, which is like a 7.5.
Yeah, to get through all my awards, I just got
almost.
If you're a big fan of stouts, then you really do want to pick this one up. It's very, very good for that.
Definitely is a good beer.
So well done, Sierra Nevada. 1 for 2.
I'm showing
If you were a baseball player, you'd be a
3.798.
millionaire. 3.798 out of 4?
Yeah, out of 5 on Untapped.
Oh, okay.
So not quite an 8 for them.
That's fair to good. I wouldn't say it's great.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's in the ballpark of what we rated it.
Yeah, I mean it's a 4 out of 5 with proper rounding.
Good stuff.
So we progress on from the from beer camp next week. Just a preview. We'll be picking another one of those 6 lovely beers as we journey on to camp. This is like the 3rd week. If you go for camp for like a 3-week or a 4-week camp, this is the camp. This is the time when your homesickness is kind of done. You've sent out the letters. You've made a couple of friends. You've gotten over your first swirly, and you're making your way through the dining hall without tripping over the big bench legs. And yeah, so you may have been asked to help light the fire, the campfire. So you got a little prestige going on. So you're starting to feel pretty good about yourself. And usually that's when somebody yanks the camp rug right out from under you. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at beer camp next week.
This is the point where you start to realize that your underwear may in fact need to be washed.
That's
Yeah.
I thought that's what you went swimming for.
Right. Well, this is the point where you realize the one pair you packed, even with swimming, may
Listen,
in
if you packed one pair,
need to be
deserve
washed.
what you get.
Well, the other one's up the flagpole, and there's about 3 or 4 pair in the tree still that you can't get down.
And the other kids have been bringing food back to the cabin, and you think there may be some kind of animal living underneath one of the beds. You're not quite sure.
Yeah.
You've also definitely spotted the cute girl that you have the crush on for camp. You know who she is.
Camp crush.
Yeah, you make a point of trying to sidle up and be next to her. And
What's her name, Rob? What's the girl's name?
Let's go.
There's got to be more than one, though. There's more than one.
Well, look. Okay, so you have your different levels of crush.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You have your first level of crush, which is like your Mount Everest, and she may actually have 2 Mount Everests. You don't know. She's the Mount Everest. You just know no matter how hard you try, you're never going to scale that mountain. And then you may have
hard.
That's right. Then you may have like the
and you may die doing it.
The middle crush, which is like the Pikes Peak, which is she's really cute, and you think if you try really hard, you might just get a smile out of her.
Yeah,
hold her
she's
hand.
the one that likes you as a friend.
Yeah,
it is possibly a camp counselor.
She's the one you're working on. No, that's the Everest. The Everest is the camp counselor. All right. Then you have the final level, which if you have the Everest and the Pikes Peak, this is kind of more like the hill. That she was really into you, and you could have the camp romance if you wanted it, but you're trying to hold out for more offers, which we just makes me sound like a horrible person. I'm speaking in generalities here. It's not something that specifically happened to me.
Yeah, so this is a description of a band camp incident, possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. So next week we'll see what the beer camp has in store for us. If it'll be a good week, it'll be a sunshine day out on the canoe type of week, or if it's going to be a rainy sit and play tiddlywinks type of day at camp. So stay tuned. Somewhere along the way, though, will be that field trip that you take to the amusement park. So one of these beers, hopefully, will be just unbelievable.
This one was fairly unbelievable. Not really heavy.
It's pretty awesome, unless you really don't like stouts.
It was a good week. I don't like stouts, but it was good. It was.
Yeah, no, I've poured my second. This is a great beer.
Yeah. All right,
I
so
should've chilled too.
that's our To the Pint segment this week, and now we're going to be moving along to our topic segment. It's time for the Pint Taken.
Wow, could have ended with the first one, huh?
And how appropriate Keith plays music from a Steven Spielberg movie. Because our first topic tonight is about Steven Spielberg himself. Well, if you've been waiting for this news, wait no longer. They're going to make Indiana Jones 5. Harrison Ford is back, Steven Spielberg is back. They're all coming together for supposedly one last roundup of the fedora-wearing adventurer. And the news this week from Mr. Steven Spielberg is he confirmed to his fans that he won't be pulling a J.J. Abrams in Indy 5. J.J. Abrams, turn this off if you haven't seen Star Wars The Force Awakens, and if you haven't, you don't really care anyway. Old Han Solo bit the big one, dropped down the shaft in The Force Awakens. But Steven Spielberg confirms to us that Indiana Jones will not meet that same fate in his new movie. In fact, Harrison Ford will live, which, kind of kills some of the suspense.
Well, they're going to set it up to pass the torch to a new adventurer is what they're going to do.
Well, that was what they were supposed to be doing with Indy 4, but that was went horribly wrong.
They did, but they're going to try again, and it's going to get passed, and it's going to be short round. He's going to take it over. He's going to run with it. I'm holding on to this theory.
That would be great if they brought back short round.
Yeah, he's like 30 now. He's ready to take on the world.
Yeah, so the last one was in the 50s. Indy 4 took place in the 50s, and it was, the Cold War with the Russians. So we're now almost, 8 years, 9 years since that movie has been out? I can't remember when that came out, but it's been a while. So we're talking about late 50s, early 60s. Anybody want to take a guess as to what Indy will face, what 80-year-old Indy will face in Indiana Jones 5?
Well, they can't make it too much farther past the last one.
Probably gout.
That was better than mine. I'm glad Gary stepped on mine all of a sudden.
I'm going to say it's like the search, the battle against incontinence or something.
The search for a full stream.
Now listen, full marks to Harrison Ford. He's in way better shape at 70, whatever he is, than I am at 45. So,
Yeah, but can we be honest for a minute? I loved, The Force Awakens, but he looked stiff in that movie. And sore. He was not moving.
He did break his leg on that movie, right?
Yeah,
it's true.
It showed it, though. I'm just saying, he showed his age for the first time in a movie that I've seen with him in it. I really saw the age in there.
He showed some of it in Indy 4, but the dude is 74 years old when he made that.
I'm just saying, him running around shooting stormtroopers was probably not as believable as it could have been.
That having been said, I think that was probably Harrison Ford's best acting job in years. Really, he really seemed to bring it. I thought I thought he did as well a job with Han Solo as I could have hoped for. For a character that he said he wanted killed off in the second film, and over the last 30 years has said he didn't want anything to do with the character, didn't want to answer questions about the character, was tired of talking about the character, I thought he really brought it. Now, probably that was going in, he knew he was going to die, so he said, like, oh, well, I might as well just give it all.
Go out with a bang.
Yeah, and he probably got a lot to do it, so he better bring it.
Yeah.
Do you think he's upset he didn't actually die? Do you think when he meant he was going to die, they actually was just asking for J.J. Abrams to...
Like the real Harrison Ford was going to die?
Yeah, to euthanasia. Just like put him out of his misery.
I don't think that was in his mind.
Get him out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So,
although that
Indiana
year,
Jones...
They sure took a good shot at it, because I mean he had the broken leg with the door, he had the plane crash.
Yeah, he was throwing himself
that's
under garage doors. He
it
crashed
was
the plane into the middle of London. Yeah, it was.
easy.
He was trying.
Gary, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, with the last Indiana Jones 4 movie, they had, what's his name, the young guy that was in it who kind of went off the
Shia
deep end
LaBeouf.
after. That's his name, thanks. Transformers guy. As kind of theoretically taking over the mantle of Indiana Jones, do you think they are going to try to get him to do the next movie, Indy 5, or are they going to just reset and get another young guy?
They will go to another young guy because Shia LaBeouf has burned his bridges with Steven Spielberg.
Zac Efron?
Well, you know, there was a rumor a few months ago that Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be brought on to be kind of a young Indiana Jones and take over the franchise. You know, Chris Pratt's almost 40 himself now, so you know Harrison was just barely over 40 when he did the first Indiana Jones film, so I guess it's not too much of a continuity, but there is a possibility maybe they'll try to bring him on as a different character. Although I really kind of dig the short round angle.
I'm telling you, they need to run, just continue of it. They call it the Legends of Indiana Jones or something. Have short rounds, you know, as what's that guy from the old Mythbusters. Yeah, him.
Grant. You talking about Grant?
Yeah, Grant.
Kahara?
You have Grant play the role. He gets past the hat and the whip at the end of the movie, and he continues to go after artifacts around the world into the 90s and even.
Okay,
let me tell you. Indiana Jones is like the Dread Pirate Roberts from Princess Bride.
Kind of, yeah, exactly.
He's an idea.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Grant Imahara. Okay, he does some acting on the side in like a fan-made Star Trek film.
He's ready. I'm telling you, he's ready.
His acting chops are not there.
You know what? He's as good as Harrison Ford was.
Now, someone you might consider for something like that would be John Cho. Harold and Kumar guy. He's in Star Trek, playing Sulu.
Oh yeah. Isn't that the same guy?
No. Wow. Whoa. Listen, the views expressed by some of these hosts do not reflect those of the rest of us. Holy smokes.
Sorry, my apologies to most of the world at this point.
So how about this for an Indiana Jones? Since Harrison Ford was in his 40s, getting way away from the Keats comment, Nathan Fillion.
Why has Nathan Fillion not gotten some kind of franchise? I mean, I know Firefly has
because he took the franchise of Castle and ran with that until way down. So now he's just starting to look again now.
But there have been actors who have been in a franchise. Chris Pratt, great example, who was Parks and Recreation and then landed Guardians of the Galaxy. And now he's the man. So
right, but the thing is with Castle, it literally just ended.
Right, I know.
You haven't given him a chance to get his franchise.
Well, I mean, Chris Pratt did Guardians of the Galaxy while Parks and Rec was still being done. So.
And Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, Jurassic World, right? So I mean, Nathan Fillion, in my mind,
for a while.
Going back to franchises, Nathan Fillion, in my mind, would have always been a perfect Green Lantern. He's done Green Lantern voice for a lot of Justice League cartoons. I thought he was an awesome Green Lantern. But picking up the Harrison Ford mantle might be a good one for him.
Yeah, they probably need someone a little bit younger than that to really pick it
Yeah,
up.
unfortunately, yeah, he's kind of on the older side.
Yeah, he's as old as you, Rob.
He is, well, yeah. We have the same barber.
Yeah.
Well,
Clearly.
who would be a good younger actor or actress to take over that kind of a role?
We already did that discussion while you were gone. We're not doing it again.
Oh, all right.
It didn't go well.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't turn this into Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is such a great franchise.
It is a great little video game franchise. I just don't know. I don't want Indiana Jones to end up there.
Well, I mean, basically Tomb Raider is the female Indiana Jones. Let's face it. That's what it was supposed to be.
Right. But in the way she got way too many peaks.
Yeah.
A couple of valleys and some hills in the back.
Well, if they go with young Lara Croft like they do with what they've done with the video games now, you don't have to get some kind of gigantically buxom woman to do it.
I don't know. I think that's what it'll turn into.
Why not?
If you try to put make Indiana Jones that, I really don't want it to go there.
No, I got to pick the guy's name. I thought we already talked about this, right? What's his name? I can't remember the kid's name, but Cass here. Hold on, I almost got it.
If you can tell him what he was in.
He was in Hail Caesar. He played the cowboy. I thought he was going to be in the Indiana Jones movie. Did we already talk? I feel like we talked about this already.
It's the Stout talking.
It's clearly the Stout, not Channing Tatum.
No.
He's the younger guy that played the cowboy guy.
Okay.
Alden Ehrenreich?
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes.
I
thought
believe
he was already tapped for this.
No, what he was tapped for was the young Han Solo.
Oh, that's right. Well, same thing. He could be young Indiana Jones if he's doing
just port him back and forth between the franchises. Hey.
Well, I mean, the hell, that's what Harrison Ford did.
It's already been done.
If you're going to replace Harrison Ford, you might as well replace him across the board.
Sure. So if this movie takes place, in, like, say, the late 50s, who would be the enemies he'd go up against? Would it still be the Russians?
It's going to be the Russians until the 80s, really.
Could be.
You could start going. He could go counterculture and start going against the Americans.
No, I think they're going to go to Africa. They haven't gone to Africa yet.
They could also.
The first film was in Africa.
So
it was in northern Africa.
How about Korea? How about Korea?
How about Korea?
Korean War was in the early 50s, right?
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah, we're
still fighting communism in general, but not necessarily the Russians.
Not the expected bad guys.
Yeah.
Could be something stolen during the war, some treasure, artifact. Has to sneak in and find it.
That area of the world actually could lend itself to a few franchises. You could get into, Southeast Asia in general, and have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of ancient cities buried in those jungles of Thailand and Cambodia and all that area.
You had like a good polar adventure, something that takes place where it's cold.
Polar adventure.
So he's going to go look for Santa Claus?
Yeti, like Sasquatch.
They kind of did that in the first movie, not really looking for adventure, but what's his name? The girlfriend was up in the Tibetan mountains, right? Yeah. So they kind of did that.
Well, there's not really many places left you can go.
Well, they kind of did the Southeast Asia tropical thing in the second movie, right?
That was India.
It was that's
Subcontinent.
middle
Yeah.
tropic. Okay.
And then they did South America and Cairo in the first one, and they did Germany and like the Middle East in the Holy Grail. And then
Right.
the last one was South America again and America.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking more like lower Africa, like the tropics, like middle Africa, some lost temple mount, or going farther south, Kilimanjaro or something like that.
Yeah,
Might be
maybe.
interesting.
How about some like a really small place like Hawaii, where there's just like nowhere to go? It's really tiny, confined space.
New Zealand.
Atlantis.
There you go.
Atlantis. They could search for Atlantis.
Australia might be a good place to go. He hasn't done Australia.
Yeah,
That could be fun.
I was just thinking that they'd shoot it in New Zealand just because, but
Sure.
yeah, you could definitely do the Outback.
We could stop off in Mordor on his way.
Indiana Jones meets Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
That's not a knife.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, going against the U.S. and the counterculture thing is kind of growing on me. You could have him pick up the mantle of what's his name, with those ridiculous movies about finding all the treasures buried in Washington and crap.
Oh, National Treasure.
Yeah, you could have him pick up the mantles of National Treasure and run with that.
We're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll stay tuned, but at least we know he's gonna survive the film. Let's just hope he survives the filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I put it in the topic room. Talk about no one paying attention. I put it in there if we should do the second topic or move on. Oh, Gary said move on. Thanks, Gary. I'll move on according to Gary. All right, we talked long enough. Pint taken. Now it's time for our picks. Half pints coming at you. Keith, hit it. Would you like to shoot me now or wait till you get home? One of my favorite Looney Tunes cartoons. Oh, that's the best. So in our half pint segments, we have picks of the week: movies, television shows, music, books, anything that strikes our fancy and we want to give to you to check out this week is all contained in our half pint segments. And I see Gary this week has pulled a Keith and not put anything down. So either he's still thinking or he's keeping it a secret so Keith doesn't steal it. But Jeremy, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremy's going first.
But Jeremy does have something. Oh, it's an oldie but a goodie topic. Oh, I love this. Go ahead, Jeremy. What do you got?
My topic is geocaching. Most fun you can have with 2 feet in your GPS.
That is fun. I like doing that.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I wanted to do this. When did it come out? Early 2000s when it first started up, and I was all excited. We're gonna buy a GPS unit, and
yeah, Jeremy, just tell us a little bit about exactly what geocaching is, and go ahead. Yeah.
So the idea of geocaching is that people hide things, and they provide the coordinates to the thing that's hidden. Your job is to use your GPS unit, navigate to those coordinates, and find the thing. It could be something as big as like an ammo can or a big Tupperware thing hidden in leaves behind bushes, or something as small as a little magnetic cylinder half an inch tall that sticks to the bottom of some metal thing hidden somewhere. So the goal is just to go find these things. You get out and probably go somewhere you wouldn't have gone otherwise. Maybe learn something new, and basically a treasure hunt over the globe.
And you usually take whatever it is that you find, and you leave something else along with it, right?
Yes, if
like you don't take it and take it home.
No, if the thing is big enough, it'll have stuff in, and you can exchange things. And that either way, there'll be a log there that you can sign, and then you log it on the website in the app, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, back in the days before GPS, I remember as a Cub Scout, we used to do this thing called orienteering, which was just similar. You do kind of the same thing, looking for certain spots by using a compass and or a map to basically orient or orienteering yourself to your surroundings to find something. But this would be the 21st century way of doing that.
Speaking of orienteering and camp, that was a competition
Yes.
that I participated in
right.
Massawepie in Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
We did orienteering, and once we got it, we would run courses and race each other. And at each stop, instead of something to exchange, there would be a code that you would have to record to prove you were there. And you would see how fast you could get the 3 codes from the orienteering map and get back.
Yeah.
And I will happily say that I was the Camp Massawepie champion in years I can't remember. Somewhere around 86 to 88, probably. Somewhere in there, I just kicked everyone else's ass and got through the course way better than anyone else. So.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually done geocaching myself, and I don't have children, but this would seem to be a great thing to do with families, because it's literally a treasure hunt. You're actually hunting treasures in any number of different types of environments, beaches, cities, forests, just about any place you want to go. There's geocaching literally everywhere.
Yeah, if you pull up any of the geocaching apps, they all seem to share the same data. And you can probably find a cache within walking distance of your house if you wanted to.
You know, we have
some everywhere.
We have an upcoming trip to North Carolina next week, and a family is coming to stay with us for a week as well. I might look into this and see if maybe there's something around where we're staying where we can do it. I think that might be fun.
We did it.
There definitely is.
With my Belle's, my oldest daughter's Brownie troop when she was Brownie, Girl Scouts, and it was a really interesting one. There's one in Webster Park that goes up. It's seasonal. That goes up in the wintertime, and they pick a 6-foot-ish pine tree deep into Webster Park. So it's not easy to get to. You find it by geocaching, and you have to figure out, because there's creeks to cross and stuff, so you have to find the bridges or the log crossings to do to be able to get there, and then reorient back onto the track and the whole thing. But once you get there, what it is it's a Christmas tree. And instead of taking something, you bring with you, each of the Girl Scouts brought with them a homemade ornament, and they all hung them on the tree when you get there. And it was already decorated. The 2 guys that maintain that cache, they move it every year. But they set it up when they do with some basic ornaments and stuff on it, and then everybody that comes brings an ornament to put on it, and it's really cool. It's
not
really
something
neat.
you just would stumble across typically. You need
No.
to do some work to find it.
There's no way. There's no way you would have gotten there without having a GPS. Even Webster Park's a pretty big park. Rob knows it. But you can get miles and miles off the public areas and still be in the park. And that's what these guys try to do. They try to take you out away from. They usually will give you 1 or 2 starting points if you want, but they just give you the GPS coordinates too, so you can go find it from there on your own.
And for geocaching, do you need anything other than, say, a phone that you can do GPS with?
No, that's all you need.
That's all you need now.
You don't even need a phone. You can, if you have a regular GPS receiver, that displays coordinates or that you can enter coordinates into, you can use that.
Yeah, when we did it with the Girl Scouts, they had handheld units. So they each had one, little Garmin handheld units that did not have a map or anything on them. They just had location and the track you took to get there and where you were going. So you could walk your own way back and see the jagged lines that you took to get there and stuff like that. But there was no map or anything. It was just it's a mile and a half northwest of you, so you start heading that way and see what you can do.
Interesting.
Zeroes you in on it. In a way, the phones are a little cheating because they all have maps and stuff.
Jeremy, I am going to take a look at this. This might be something fun.
It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the funny story is that I wanted to do this years ago when I first read about it was in the early 2000s, and I was, there were not smartphones, but there were GPS receivers, and I was all excited about it. I was going to go buy one, and Melissa told me I was the stupidest thing she ever heard of, so I didn't.
Yeah.
And
So
then
that's when we were not to listen to Melissa.
And then a couple months ago, she meets this new friend who talks her into how awesome geocaching is and how Melissa should be doing it, and she's totally hooked on it.
Very cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, very cool. All right, thanks for that, Jeremy. All right, Gary's pick for the week. Always great to have Gary bring us a negative pick. Do it, Gary.
Well, since we had beer and I messed up responses in the chat, I just had to do 2 picks. So I got actually 1 good pick and one bad pick. The good pick is this software called Make MKV, and it's I guess it's shareware. I guess they want you to pay money, but I haven't actually had to pay any money yet, and it's still working, so I think it's good. But it's basically the software for ripping DVDs and Blu-rays, and it can back it up to your computer. So all those discs that you have that you want to back up, or maybe stream with something like Plex or put on your iPad or whatever to take on the road with you if you're traveling on vacation. It's a great tool that will do that, and in combination with Handbrake, will do a lot for getting you able to copy your Blu-rays or DVDs onto mobile devices. So if you're planning new vacations this summer and want to take your own personal movie library with you, Make MKV is a good way to get started, and then Handbrake is the compression tool for that. Pretty cool software.
So is what's the advantage of using Make MKV in addition to Handbrake instead of just letting Handbrake do its thing?
Yeah, I've always just used Handbrake.
Does Handbrake do the stripping off the whatever is that called, the copyright protection stuff that they have on the Blu-rays or DVDs?
It works for DVDs.
work.
I don't know if it'll work for a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've never made that work in Handbrake. And Make MKV definitely works for Blu-rays. It gives you a file on your hard drive that will play in Windows Media Player or whatever, and then I use Handbrake to make it smaller. Because when it comes off Blu-ray, it's like, depending on the movie, like 20 gigs or 40 gigs, and then you use Handbrake to compress it.
Oh,
So
so
you
it just
have a
takes
little
the
space
uncompressed data.
Yeah.
It's not a transcoder, it's just a ripper.
Yeah, it just copies the Blu-ray. You can choose which streams to copy, because most commercial discs have previews and alternate versions or different languages and all that kind of stuff. So I just grab the main title and usually the surround sound, which it'll pull the track off directly. So Handbrake will then mix that down to either a stereo track or a 5.1 track for you. So Make MKV will copy the Blu-ray with, it'll figure out how to strip off that annoying copy protection stuff they do. So a good way for personal backups.
Good pick for backing up.
For backing up, not doing anything else with.
No, just
Strictly
definitely personal backup, be able to take it with you, watch the stuff you own wherever you are.
Yeah, because if you have kids, they will scratch up those Blu-ray discs that you have, and if you don't have a backup of it, you're kind of screwed and have to buy it again. This allows you to protect your investment.
Yeah, I haven't in a couple of years, but I used to have a Plex media server up, and it was a damn slick thing.
Yeah, I started doing that. I'm actually in the process of moving all of our older DVDs that the kids don't really watch onto Plex, so that I can stow those away in the garage where no one cares, and still have access to all those stuff. So Plex is
Plex
really
is
cool.
freaking amazing, and even if you want to support them a little bit, you spend the little bit of coin it is for the mobile apps they have, and then it just gets silly cool.
As a free. The freeware version of Plex is awesome. So that's probably a future of mine. I'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, I would definitely go with that. I stopped using it only because I went to Apple TV, which there wasn't an easy integration at the time. I think there is now. I think the Apple TV now has a Plex app on the new one, and there's a way to make the old one works through the previews thing or something. So.
Yeah, I don't have any ideas. I haven't tried that. So my negative pick is going along the lines of a couple of weeks ago. I was talking about Sling TV, and I was trying to get to be able to watch the NBA Finals because the Warriors are playing and they're doing really poorly right now. And Sling was just abysmal in terms of quality. Their stream quality was really low because a lot of people were watching it. So I decided to try Sony PlayStation View, and what a cluster! That is just an absolute mess. The way the marketing implies is that pretty much if you have a iOS device, a Chromecast, Fire TV, or a PlayStation, you can use PlayStation View. What they don't tell you is that you pretty much have to have a PlayStation View in order to activate. I'm sorry, a PlayStation console in order to actually activate the service, and then you can watch it on iOS or Chromecast.
So is this a function of PlayStation just being buttheads, or is this a function of Sling TV?
No, this is place. So Sling was its own bad quality, but at least I could watch it in poor qualities. PlayStation is Sony's competitor to Sling, and
right.
it's laughable. Jeremy had the perfect reaction. It's laughable. They essentially require a PlayStation for you to activate a profile, and I did everything that I could to try to get it to work. I even have a Sony Blu-ray player. I tried to log on with that. That wouldn't work, and I just finally gave up. And I can't actually talk about the quality of the service because I never actually got to watch it because I don't own a gaming console. But it is considerably more expensive than Sling TV, so that's another downside. But at this point, I don't really care, so I'm just going back to Netflix and Hulu as my main thing.
That's really a shame. I mean, I used Sling the other night to watch the NBA game, and it got pixelated at one point, but I just shut down the app and restarted it, and it was fine.
Yeah, not my experience.
Wow,
at all.
That's a shame. Shame. I'm actually planning to watch the game tonight, so.
I got it on right now. I started another free 7-day trial using Gilly's email address. So even pixelated, at least I can watch the game a little bit. So at least it's
yeah. I mean, Sling is relatively new, like we were talking about the other night. So I'm hoping with more customers, as more and more people cut the cord, that
they've been around doing this for over a year now. I don't know.
I mean, that's newish.
It's youngish. I don't know if I can call it new anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Young.
I mean, Sling itself has been around a long time and doing amazing things with moving your media around to the devices you want to watch them on.
Well,
This Sling TV product is, with DirecTV is newish.
I'm sorry
I want to say that's even 2 years old.
I'm sorry to correct you. That's actually two different companies.
Two different, yeah.
Yeah, we had a Slingbox,
and
Slingbox is a company that lets you watch your TV away from home. Sling is a different company.
Sling TV and Slingbox were the same company.
Yeah.
It's just that Sling TV is a different service than Slingbox.
It's a separate service, but it's the same company.
Yeah.
And I believe they're both owned by DirecTV now, or the other one.
Dish.
Okay.
Dish. They're owned by Dish.
They're owned by Dish. So I call foul on your correction, sir.
I call foul on your foul So. All right.
Correct me with your damn tech stuff, mister.
Yes. Keith, what is your pick for the week?
I am picking, as I telegraphed mostly last week, Overwatch. I was given the gift of Overwatch for my birthday. That was last week.
Oh.
I took time off around my birthday specifically to play Overwatch. And on Monday of this week, I spent 4 hours non-stop playing Overwatch on my gaming rig here, and I just love that game. I'm at the point with a new video game that I have not been in many years, where every waking moment of my life I would just rather be playing that game.
Oh, like the old Unreal days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When video games and the fact that you could play online with other people was just fresh and new, I haven't had this feeling since then.
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's amazing. I love this game, and it's getting great reviews. I'm not alone. The Wall Street Journal rated it 10 out of 10. I mean, this thing is a juggernaut. It's going to be great.
There was a time Keith and I played Unreal Tournament. We were in a clan.
Yeah, that's right. UBF forever, man.
UBF, that's right.
Baptized by fire.
Played every week and talked about strategies and maps. We have played in some tournaments. We absolutely sucked.
Yeah, we were terrible.
Horrible.
Even back then, when we had reaction speed, we were horrible.
Yeah, it was fun.
Some of the nice things about Overwatch is it does correct for a lot of that. Based on the character you have, you don't have to be precision precise.
Until the hackers get in and fix it. Fix that.
Yeah, so I think they've gotten better at stopping that too. Blizzard's pretty good with that stuff. But anyway, right now it is just such a great game. I cannot recommend it enough. If you like first-person shooters at all, if you like anime at all, the combination here is wonderful. And it's not your typical just grab a gun and blow the guy away into a bloody mess. It's done way better than that. The different characters range from the super fantastic sci-fi characters that can actually manipulate time to characters that can fly, characters that can disappear into a puff of smoke and move around. It combines fantasy, magic, technology, robotics, everything meshed into this futuristic, somewhat dystopian world that it just is totally compelling to me. I just love it. I can jump in a game, play a game for 20 minutes and get out, or I can just lose myself in it for an entire day.
Wow.
It is fantastic.
So which version do you have? Just the regular Overwatch or the Origins edition?
No, I didn't pay for any of the extra crap. Even though I have, with being a Hearthstone fan, I could have got a bunch of Hearthstone extras if I paid for the Origins one. But honestly, the $40 version works just fine. And I'm playing it on PC. It's also available for PlayStation and Xbox One. Although at this point, at least, you don't play with the different groups. So PC players only play PC players, Xbox One players only play Xbox One players, and PlayStation.
That was really supposed to be an emergent thing a couple of years ago. They said they were so close to making that a reality of being able to play across platforms, and that really
a number of games are cross-platform compatible, and you play across platform, but Blizzard didn't do that, and I understand why. There's definitely more fine controls in the PC version versus the Xbox and PlayStation version.
Right. So
it's probably the right way to go to keep everything on a level playing field. But I don't mind.
Cool.
And the nice thing about Blizzard games is they do play on you don't have to have the highest end machine to make them work. I've got it installed on two machines right now. This one that I'm recording on right now, which is my gaming rig, which is a higher end 24 gig machine. But I've also got it on a laptop upstairs that, as long as it's got a discrete graphics card and a little bit of RAM, it runs on that too.
Cool. All right, Overwatch. Keith's baby. Keith's new favorite.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna go play it after this show.
I've got two picks for the week, and my first pick is a party game, and that I picked up this week, and I've been reading all about it and watching some videos on how to play it, and I can't wait to get it to the table. It's called Spyfall, and it's actually a party game that's been around for a while.
I recognize that game.
But the folks at Cryptozoic actually turned it into a board game version of the game. And basically what it comes down to is you have a group of folks, 3 or more, and each of them is going to get a card from one of these packets. Packets has a bunch of cards in it, and inside the packet is going to be one spy card, and then a number of cards that are from the same location. In this case, it's a passenger train. And you wouldn't know this at the start of the game because you take the pack out of the wrapper face down like this. The top card is the spy, so you put that face down, and you put in a number of cards for the rest of the number of players. And then you shuffle it and deal one card to each person. So obviously everyone is at the passenger train, except for the spy. The spy doesn't know where he is. So, in turn, each person gets to ask a question of other people. They don't know who the spy is and who is at the passenger train. So they may ask a question, say, "Hey, Gary, are you moving where you are right now?" And Gary might answer, "Well, sometimes we move, sometimes we don't." And then Gary would ask a question of someone else in the circle. And you're just trying to whittle down and figure out who is the spy and who actually is at the passenger train. Because obviously, when you ask the spy a question, they'll have to kind of hunt and fudge for an answer based on what other people have said. And the job of the rest of the group is to figure out who the spy is before the timer runs out. And the job of the spy is to figure out where he is before the timer runs out. And you award points based on that. It's a very, very fun, very basic party game that you can play in about literally 7 minutes, one round of this game. And the box itself comes with 30 different locations. So even if you've played a ton, you can still come back to Spyfall. The questions will always be different. There'll be different spies and a lot of different varieties. So I really can't wait to play this, and I would heartily recommend this to folks.
Kind of reminds me of an in-person version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Sure.
If you remember that old Mac game, that was a lot of fun.
Like, if you are not the spy, you want to give clues to other folks in the circle that you know where you are, but you don't want to give away exactly where you are. So you kind of have to be specific, but a little bit vague. So there's a lot of interplay going on with that. So that's very cool. Really, I recommend giving it a shot. It's less than $20. You can get it on Amazon.
It is actually $18 on Amazon, and you can use our PNR link to get that.
Absolutely.
Use our PNR link.
Yeah.
And it's on Amazon Prime too. So if you're a Prime person, you can get it in like 2 days.
That's a hell of a price for a game.
Yeah.
That means you could play it this weekend. Order now.
You could.
Now it says ages 13 and up. But the cards themselves, the locations, have not only the location and a picture of the location, but on the lower left-hand side of the card is someone who might be at that location. Like on the passenger train, it might say a passenger, a conductor, engineer. So you can kind of ramp up the difficulty by answering the questions as if you were that person in that location. So I think, honestly, kids 10 and under could play this game. Maybe if you leave the job part out of it and just use the location, I think they could easily play that. And you can play up to 8 players. So really
Sounds like
really,
it should be fun.
Yeah. My second pick of the week is actually an old pick, an old show. I know Keith is a big fan of this. I don't know about Gary and Jeremy, but I'm a big fan of Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack was an awesome show on the Cartoon Network in the early 2000s. And if you're not familiar with it, basically Samurai Jack is basically the orphan son of a dynasty that was wiped out by Aku, the evil one. And Samurai Jack trained himself and became very powerful, the ultimate samurai, and was gifted this magic sword that could banish Aku forever. But before he was able to do that, he was able to beat up Aku pretty good, but before he was able to do it, Aku sent him into the future. And in the future, it becomes a dystopian society. He doesn't know where he is. Everything's kind of moved on. If you know kind of the environments in the Dark Tower, it's very similar, where there are some similar things that you know, but it's a lot of weirdness. And the art style is very evocative. It's got a lot of Asian influence, obviously, a little bit of anime, striking colors, even like some Kurosawa type of imagery. It's so well done that the animation isn't really detailed, but it's so well drawn. It's really, really cool. And I would heartily recommend all 4 seasons of Samurai Jack. It's a great, great show. And I'll let the guys react to it in a second. But the reason I bring this up for this week is that Samurai Jack is being revived. It's coming to Adult Swim in 2016 as an 8-episode miniseries.
Cool.
And the 8-episode miniseries, we were told, is going to play like a 5-hour epic movie. So I cannot wait for that to come around. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the new Samurai Jack, I'm going to rewatch all the old ones. And you can watch it right now on Hulu, and it's great show.
All right, let's pick that up. What's the age on that, like age appropriateness?
Oh, 8 and up, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And only because of violence.
It's got cartoon violence
Yeah.
in it, but
Yeah.
but there's a lot of
So
really
does
good
Looney
humor.
Tunes.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
really
and
good
it's
humor in
no
it.
worse than Looney Tunes.
Not at all.
The art style is amazing.
It's so cool.
I could get lost in the simplicity and the depth of that art. Alone, not even if the story wasn't as amazing as it is, and it's an amazing story. So
It's a great story.
It's just a win-win. I got to go watch that again. I haven't watched Samurai
Yeah,
Jack in so long.
I'm rewatching all of them so I can remind myself all the stuff that happened, so I can watch this new series. That'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. I may have to do that.
So, all right, that's it. Going to wrap it up for episode 16 of the Pine of No Return show. Gentlemen, any final thoughts this week?
I'm looking forward to the beer next week. After this one.
Yeah, we're going up. This is a good trend.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be out of ratings, though, by the time we hit this trend. So,
Stout of the Union is strong.
We might have to go to 11.
a beer that goes to 11.
Yep. So.
All right, well, let's
Birthday, Keith.
happy birthday to Keith.
And Rob, who's just slightly older than me.
I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale than live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take
What the heck is going on? You have lost. The battle is over. What? You are my inner demon. You have been born from the hatred within me. You fool! I am real! Now taste the reality of my cold, hard steel. Out!